A long time ago, before you and I were born, our forefathers and mothers had full custody of a priceless gift.
A gift that gave ceaselessly, a lifeline that linked generations endlessly, a gem that was shamelessly stepped on.
Abakurambire, our forefathers and mothers, they understood. They understood the value and context of this, our sexuality complex. To them, it was more than just intercourse.
It was a source and a resource of continuity and multiplication. One without a replica, of course, a treasure of invaluable pleasure, devalued by foreign values. To our forefathers and mothers, Eriba Jajjafe, sexuality was a place of pride and purity that shaped the community, a place where identity made love to responsibility and gave birth to hope.
A hope that now hangs on the ropes of the foreign man on top. Kwa mababu wetu, to our forefathers and mothers, reproductive justice was the key.
The spiritual key that unlocked possibilities for the society until it got locked up by ubukila, slavery.
To our forefathers and mothers, sexuality was poetry, a metaphor of succession,
a representation of the interconnecting political, social, and economic fabrics. Sexuality existed above the confines of the white man's metrics.
Our forefathers and mothers,
Okoko, listened to the whispers of equity and agency, the whispers of reproductive justice and mediation, the whispers that were wisely woven into socialization until they were muffled by the noise of colonization, a distortion that still rattles the African civilization. To our forefathers and mothers, the fabric of being was like water, freely following the flow of function with a clear introspection of home. A home where stigma had no seat at the table, a community where masculinity and femininity danced in the kitchen of necessity and in the hunting ground for survival.
Their purity of mind was unrivaled. They were the Venda of South Africa,
the Nandi of Kenya,
the Kuria of Tanzania,
the Bara of Madagascar, until they tasted the tears of Okonkwo,
and things fell apart as gushing white waters formed a river between them and their identity,
between us and our identity. Now look at us, see, a society drowning in a sea of delusion, lungs submerged by waters of confusion, drowning. Our sexuality is drowning because we have lost touch of our ancestral grounding. Look at us, see a sea of confusion, a sea of delusion, of floating spirits in bodies we no longer own, chanting creeds of autonomy, recycling and reusing narratives that continue to reduce our own ideologies. Look at us, see, laba, leba, bona, tazama.
Look at gender. Before that, throw away your foreign lenses.
There's a lot to unlearn before we come to our senses. See, or rather, unsee. Unsee the notion that there is sin in your sexuality. Abandon that narrative because it is not our own.
Let us weave our own paths of reproductive justice with threads of gender, race, and class intertwining with diversities converging at the threshold of an African identity.
Let us mold our own methods of mediation, form our own fields of assimilation, and put a stop to this disease that is discrimination.
Let us rise up with voices united and strong in the fight for justice where all belong. For the path to liberation is not singular. It's as complex and diverse as our ancestral root system.
Let us follow the teachings of our roots. Roots like Mulondo that instruct the male anatomy. Forget Victorias and remember the secrets of the acacia tree that instructs us to honor our bodies.
Let us reclaim our reproductive justice, an Afrocentric approach of breaking chains, celebrating the resistance that flows in our veins.
Together, we advocate, educate, and inspire, building communities that stand strong and aspire. In the litigation of justice, we find our voice, reimagining a future where Africa can rejoice.